Hi, I'm Edaqa, and I want to talk about Edaqa's room today. Well, actually, today I want to be setting up the streams and stuff like that. I want to improve the graphics of this layout. As you can see, this is my face here, and it's just kind of sitting there. It's also not in the right place. Let's move it around a little bit there. All right. OBS is complaining to me about something. I'm not sure what. So this is OBS running here. It's complaining I am on the screen. This is how I set up my screen. See where it is. And so what I want is I want graphics here. And this is getting lots of fun. As you can see, this is Restreamer in the background. And it's showing what's on the screen. So if I have that live here and that live there, I get a whole bunch of copies of myself. And basically, I want to make this all look a little bit better by wrapping this up here. Let me just remove this for a second. This is going to be a bit too much. Let's go to another empty. Let's go to my website instead. Now let's close Spotify. Where am I? Here we go. So what I want to do is on the screen, I'm right around here. And I want to put a border around that. Right now I have no border on that. As you can see, there's no border on that. And I can see in my window there's no border on that. And I want to make it look somewhat like the screen, make it consistent. What I also have is a title screen that has to be cleaned up. And of course, the standing by card. But I also have to start working on the press kit, so I want to get some ideas of how to get that together. I want to do something simple first, so I don't want to spend too long. What I don't like doing too much is spending too long on one thing, because obviously with graphics, you could be spending days, hours, weeks improving that, and that's not what I want to do. I like doing everything a little bit at a time, just so I'm not spending too much time on one thing. I have to focus. Most of you will want to play the game more than you'll want to watch me talk about the game, so I want to work on the game as well. The game is currently, so this is the prototype. The game is currently, well, this prototype is out. You can play that now. If you haven't seen the trailer, it's right here on my website. And I want to test it again. I have the audio mixing a bit better this time.
Do you like puzzles? Do you want to escape?
Now this probably has a little bit of echo to it because I have going through my mic as well. It's not a perfect solution yet. I'm going to figure that out, but I just want to make sure my voice comes out louder on top of it. So I'm just streaming this once and talking. Then we can pause it. But okay, so this is a good screen here. This is one that I kind of wanted as like a screen right now for the intro. But I'm working on a new game already as well. And so I have to introduce that one into the game as well. But first, I do have one consistent thing about it, and let's just go to my local host. I think it's actually running. I actually may not be running my own game. Let's go D1. Let me run the game first. You know, that's an important thing if you want to connect to a game is you actually run the game. And I can do just dev. And it's probably running enough. That should be good enough. So this is a carnival game, and it has these common side things. It has this common theme for the panels. And so what I think I want to start with is I want to start with just having just sort of this panel here. Just the same panel look, and these are always the same gradients. So let's just put the same gradient onto the screen, so at least I'm in a little border with a gradient, and same with the text message that's right here. I can also show you a little bit how I actually know where on the screen this is, because I don't see it live right here. So somewhere else, but I have an overlay, and I'll show you that in a little bit. Let's just work on the graphic. Let's do the very basic one first. Do I want to have rounded corners or the square ones? Rounded? I don't know how to do that clipping in OBS. So, like, I don't know how to clip off the borders of my thing. Rounded would be nice. Well, they're not really rounded. They're edA-qa. I guess they're square. Yeah, they have edges there. I don't know how to do that. Let me check something first. Before we do that, let's see if I can actually say some way to put a filter on this. So the poor cam properties, is there some sort of filter here? There's cropping. That's not really what I want. What I really want is there some way to put a filters? I don't want it for the whole screen. No, poor cam filters. Filters. And I'm flipped here, which is kind of annoying. Can I actually add an audio ability filter here? Well, those all look like audio filters. Is there any actual video filters there? And effect filters. What can I put for an effect filter? I can put a chroma key or a color key. But that's going to do the whole image. So how could I actually do that? I just want to put an overlay behind me. Is there any way I can actually clip that out? Does anybody know a way to clip that out? I just want to image mask blend. That's what I want. Specify the name of the image filter. Sure. It looks like we can do it. All right, so that's good. So I'm going to try and create a mask there. So let's go up. Let's just do something quickly. Let's do something in Inkscape here. Inkscape is the program I use for a lot of my vector work. It's what I use for all the levels of a game. So let's just create a circle right now. I'm going to resize that so that's the size we want it. And I'll make this 100%. I have a circle here, and let's export this thing, export this. Let's just say somewhere temperate. No, actually, no, I should choose the right location. Export as, see all my secret stuff. I've forgotten where I store this stuff. Let's go to mort-ora-y.com. Artwork, I think, is where I was doing the live stuff. Yeah, there it is. This is going to be edaqa's room cam filter PNG. Let's export that. And let's see what happens if I browse. Can I pick it up? And, oh, just a sec. Where is that? Get all my secret stuff. There's a recent folder here somewhere. Where is it? Projects, current. So it is. I gotta clean some of these things up. I don't know why. There's history behind all these folders. I don't know why I have so many of them, but I tend to organize things into folders and more folders and more folders. I've got like probably some 30 years of history of files, and generally the recent years always at least the size of all those years before it. Although since I started streaming, it's a little bit different. So Edaqa's room cam filter. Aha! It'll. What's this? Where did that come from? That's just weird. I want to do alpha mask, alpha channel. What's that doing? All right, so I've exported it wrong somehow. What is it exporting? The selection. No, export the page. Page. Export as. Now I gotta go find it again. Projects. Come on, projects. Current. Cam filter. Let's export that. Add export. It's square, so it should be square. So over to OBS, and I wonder if it's because it's not the right ratio. Yes, that's exactly it. It's not the right ratio. So what ratio do we actually need there? I could probably stretch it. So I have a circle, but I appear to be translucent. I'm translucent there. You partially see through it. But that also means that I can actually do, let me check that out. Because this is probably translucent. Let's see what actually happens, how this works. Aha. I don't know why it should be like this. And let's do an actual radial gradient. Edit this thing. This is interesting. So what happens now? I want to go out of this thing, click this, go to export. Export, replace, and now I have nothing. Why do I have nothing now? Uh-oh. What happened? Oh, so now it's alpha channel. Why did I go back to color channel? Ah, so now I can be faded out. Now I could do like one of those cheesy sort of 80s things, you know, like those memories of the cards. It's like, poor Timmy, we lost him the other day. Now, these messages from our sponsors. So I'm going to leave it like that. The whole thing's faded. This is just sort of a proof of concept. So anybody jumping in here, I mean, the reason I wanted this is because the whole purpose of checking that was so that I could do these edges on these buttons, so I can have the exact same buttons there. I don't know how great this is going to look, but I want to try it out. So let's go to my games. I have the design. Come on, I have design here. And I have the HUD. My system seems to be working slowly while I stream. I'm going to leave a lot of Inkscape off screen and just try to do the important stuff in the browser in here. So I have these buttons, and these buttons are like this, and I've been duplicating them, and I want to create an empty one here. So the thing about this button is I want it to have a little bit wider, but you can't just stretch the button, obviously, because that stretches the borders. I mean, I could, but that doesn't seem really good. So I'm going to ungroup the whole thing, and I don't really like stretching. Stretching this stuff is really hard. The reason why you'll see in a second, let's just bring this down a bit, bring this one down a bit, bring this one down a bit. There's really, I wish there was a way to do this in Inkscape across borders. I want to select a whole bunch of these boundaries at once. So I'm going to select this half here, and I'm going to move him over here. And I don't really know what the ratio is. So let's first go back here. This is my screen. And does the PowerCam have properties? 640 by 480. Interesting ratio is chosen, but I'm okay. I'm happy with that. I didn't change anything. Okay, 640 by 480. So what can we do here? 640 by 480. How do I get that to be the right ratio in Inkscape? This would be a good question for Inkscape. How do I get that to be the right ratio? .640 by 40. Well, what I can do is I can just make it 640 by 480. But the thing I want to do first is I'm going to go back to the grouped object. And then we can make this one 640 and then figure out the change later. So scale it into pixels. I want the width to be 640. Scale proportionally. And now I see they're not quite square, my things, but that's okay. Let's just do apply to each object separately. There we go. Now it's 640 by 480, and now I don't want it as high, so I'm going to move the bottom pieces up. So let's make a square beside it. Make that red, make it 100%. Why is it not the right color? Okay, 100% red. And now I'm going to do the change the transform of that one as well. Scale to 640 by 480 is what I want it, and don't scale proportionally. So I want this one to be exactly 640 by 480. So that gives me my guide here. So I have a guide, and I want it to fit inside that guide. You notice it fits there really nicely, but I need to get the background to be that size as well. So how do I do that? I want the background there. I want all of those things. Throw this in the back. It's not perfectly wide either. There's a border here. We're gonna live with that later, but we'll figure that out in a second or two. So what I want to do is I want to take these inner border things. Let's take this. I'm going to scump inside there and trigger if we can click out in the back one here. And go into these connectors here, pull this up. Oh, we go straight up. And I can't really see the background, but I can see the dotted outline there. But it appears not to have worked. That's bugging me. So I'm going to ungroup this. Move this off the side, and this off the side. Why is this not working the way I want it? I select all these points here, and I move them up. Oh, it does work. It's just really that far off twisted. Interesting. Okay, so put those ones back. Then we do this one. So this is something I wish that Inkscape could do directly. Is I want to select across a lot of objects and move a whole bunch of nodes in them at the same time. And these ones are going to have to go a little bit higher. And I'm just going to kind of eyeball it here in the corner for now, and we'll go back and fix them if necessary. But because this is all just sort of draft anyways for the thing, I'm not sure it's totally necessary to get it 100% correct. Okay, so this is what this is looking like. And this is where my HUD would be in. I'm not too excited. I mean, these border shapes here are really, really excessive. They're a lot more rounded than I wanted. I kind of just wanted them that way. It's like I didn't want to stretch the whole thing. I didn't want it that big. It's like I kind of just want that. So I'm not liking this at all. So I'm just going to get rid of all of this here. And I'm going to go to another panel here I had another panel over here. And it had smaller corners. So let's go with that one first. I just sort of do it this way here. Here we go. Now this is kind of the size I want it. Now because we only need the ratio correct, we know the other one's 640 by 480, I'm just going to change the size of this one proportionally until I get it the right size. So this is getting really close to what I want, really, really close. And so I might actually just accept this and say, hey, let's go with this and let's put a border on the bottom here. Let's put some sort of other border there. And I had another one there that I used somewhere else. I don't know where I put it though. I had like a little bar I put somewhere. Where did I put that bar? Where did I put that bar? I used it in a button, probably in the start screen. Or I can just, for now, let's just do something quick. Let's just put a double button on there instead. So let's just make it quick and rough. I don't care. We'll fix this up later at some point. So we have this sort of overlay. Then I have a good place to put my... That looks weird. I'm not enjoying that at all. Let's just stretch this. Oh, I know what I get. It's just... Man, this is not what I want. Inkscape makes this really hard. I could just attach it to the bottom of the screen. That's an option. How would that look if I just attach myself to the bottom of the screen, not floating? Let's just go with that. So there are some things in Inkscape that frustrate me a little bit. It's like really changing sizes of stuff really kind of sucks. I want to change the size just for parts of it, not the whole thing. So I have this layout here now too. So we have this. Now the piece we want here is we want the inside one. And we want that one in the middle to fix. This is basically not going to be there. So I want this one to be exported, because I'm going to want this one. And I export this as, I got to go find that place again. Projects, current, artwork. So it's not the cam filter, it's the cam background now. So this is a cam background, and we want to fit it directly in there. And so let's export. This should be, well, it's not 640. It doesn't really matter what the width is. We're going to be stretching this anyways because it's not that big on the screen. I don't know how big it is. And pixel accuracy would be kind of nice. But how do I figure that out? Not in there. No, that's our blend there. How do you actually figure out the size of these things? Transform, there it is, edit transform. Size is minus 450 by 340. So what action if we do that? 450 by 340. It's not quite the same size, but let's live with that. We'll export that. Now I want to get inside this thing, and I want to select the middle one here. And this one should be a bit smaller. I don't know why it's so much smaller. It did not maintain the width proportionally as to where it was before, because there's no way this should be more like 350 now. But this is just going to be used as a mask, and I want this mask to actually fade away a bit. I'm not sure how to do that. Let's just go with that for now. Export as... do that as the filter. And I'll just use those colors. We could use the alpha, and I don't know what's going to happen with that. So now it's the alpha. I'm fully in there again. So close that. But that's not really what I want, and I suddenly became all red. Let's first off stick another background graphic in. An image. Cam background. Okay. Let's take a file. Which one do I want? The cam background. That's exactly what I want. And we want to stick it behind here. I don't know how to disable snapping. So it's snapping to the edge, but I think that's the right location I want it. I can adjust it ever so slightly. I can't zoom in, can I? Let me make this full screen. I don't know if you can see it. I could probably adjust it with the numbers as well, but let's just put it kind of right there, and we'll figure this out in a second. Take this away from full screen. And the cam background has to go behind the camera. The camera now is slightly too big because it's been stretched. So let's go to the camera, let's say filters, image mask. And now we don't want to stretch the image. We want it to filter out in the edges, and you can see the weirdness there. And I could say color channel, that makes something else different, or blend and multiply, and that gives the layering. I don't know, let's see what else. It's not good. We're going to use the alpha channel. It cuts out the borders. And I don't know why there's borders on there, to be honest. So I don't have much for borders there right now. So let's just close this off a little bit. Can I make myself smaller? So I fit kind of within there. It's not really very good. I should actually probably do it this way. Okay, so I'm just looking to check the message. I have some kind of border there. It's really hard for me to see right now because everything else is selected. And I have no way of zooming in. It's kind of annoying. Is there any way to zoom in OBS? I don't know. I don't know. So I'm going to have a border there. It kind of has color beside it. Oh yeah, that's because I'm seeing my screen somehow. I don't know why. I'm not entirely sure why it's doing that. Why is there like a colorful border around it? It's capturing part of my screen that it shouldn't, I think. All right, let's put something else in the bottom there anyways. We can just make this. I'm going to put the borders here too. I'll just make the borders a bit simpler. So I can put those borders like that, and I can put an extra border here. Just bring this up and make it simple like this. Let's take this border, put that up there. So these borders are a bit too thin, but maybe it's okay. Then I can put like the show notes in here if I have a Twitter logo or something. And let's get out of this group. So apparently I can save this right away. Export, and it might replace it immediately in the group there, but I'm going to have to change the cam filter there instead too. So that's a cam filter. Export that, replace it. And it doesn't have the right size. How do I get this to be the right size? Poor cam. Ah, it's just not. Wait, what's it doing? I can stick my head out of the filtered area. This is getting really weird. Filters. Oh, if I stretch the image. Okay, I see now what it's done is it's kind of centered in the bottom, and I'm not, if I stretch it though, it won't. So what I need is I need a way to do here. I need to say like, look, let's do this. Let's copy this whole group, and this is going to get annoying to maintain. And we're going to go inside this group, and we're going to make this one black, or maybe white. Make this one white, delete this one, and make this one black. And this is now my filter. Why is that not black? Oh, 100%. Good, so now I have another group. And I actually want this name as that filter. Actually, shit. I'm in the wrong group. Why on earth is that size? Because it selected that. Damn it. So there's my filter group. If I export that, now I can go to the cam. Now I can check that group. Poor cam. Go to the wrong place. Ah! Keep going to the wrong place. Poor cam filters. Did I not export it? Ah, no, this is one. Take this copy here. Get out of the group. Make a new group. Group it. And then we want to export this one to here. Maybe 350 or whatever. I don't care. Export it. Place it. Now we have that, but it should be clip more. But now it's not. We want color channel now. That's what we got. So bottom clipped off. That's what I actually want from the camera. I can clip that off to whatever shape I want. It's round at the top. It's not perfect, but it'll do what I want for now. And so what that gives us is I have that little bit at the bottom. So I have that bit at the bottom where I can show something. Hopefully I'm not streaming that blue box around there. The blue box is what I use. Let me just take a screenshot of this whole thing. Screenshot. Actually, can I just make this bigger? So on my screen, what I have is I have this border and this blue box, and this tells me where my screen actually is, whether I'm limited to or not. Is this something on my screen, or is this the border? Everything outside of this is something you don't see. I see the chat over here if anybody's chatting, and then I see the rest of it over here. So this blue behind the box there shouldn't be coming up. It should not be streaming. I'm hoping it's not. If it is, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'll figure that one out. I don't know why it's capturing it that way. So I got this background there. So now I could actually put sort of a name in there. I could take the name away from here, edA-qa's room, and put it under there, or put my Twitter handle on there. Let's just put the name on first. Let's go over here. Now, what graphics, what prototype font do I want? I like the prototype one. I don't know where prototype is. So let's just put some new graphics in there. I'm going to say, so I don't have an official font for edA-qa's room, and it's been defaulting this one for a very long time, Coroni, and I really don't know why. There's like a robot one here, though. Robot, no, Robo. No, I don't remember the name of the one I wanted. So I have to look through, no, that's not what I want. Inkscape, I love all Inkscape. If I had to pick one thing that's the weakest point in Inkscape, it's probably the font selection. All right, so we're gonna do edA-qa's room like that. Put this down here, it's a bit too small. Pick too big, I mean. So edaqa's room, it kind of fits there, kind of not. If I want to get that Q to fit in there, I had to make it a lot smaller. Let's just leave it like that for now. We can go with, so that really takes up a lot of it. So I have no room for a handle there at all. So if I wanted a handle, it would be gone. So do I want the Twitter handle or do I want the name of the game there? If I'm going to put the name, I may as well make it take up the whole thing. No loss if I do that. Is that what I want though? And let's just put some sort of fill and stroke on it. These are golden. Let's do the dark golden one. Just change the pattern of it slightly. Let's just go with that. That's really cheap, but hey, it's better than nothing. So I'm going to do this. Export. Export this. Yes, replace that. What did I replace? The background. So I got a new background. It didn't load the background. Interesting. Went to maximized here. So how come it didn't load it? So it doesn't reload the backgrounds. That's weird. Or did I not export it? Did I not press the export button? Cam back count. It didn't appear to export it. So maybe next time it comes up. I don't know. But I'm kind of in that window now. I have that little bit there. And the blue thing's kind of gone, I guess. I can't tell anymore. The blue's still there. I don't know why. Something weird. Something really weird about that. Why is there blue right there? Why is it capturing that screen? I don't know. It's not supposed to capture. Or maybe it is supposed to capture that blue bit. Because that's, yeah. I know, yeah. It's capturing that because now I can see through to my screen. So I can't really have rounded there. This corner thing was there because it was hidden before. And I don't know if I can capture it without that part of the window there. I might have to remove that part and just understand it's there, or just live with that little blue bit for now. As to why it's not actually putting my new background in place, I don't know. We definitely exported it. Well, maybe if I put it as part of that. That might help. I didn't have the text as part of the group. Now edaqa's room is in it. Now that looks bad. So let's see if I can make this smaller. Can I actually make this really small? If I make this small, is it really that much of a problem? Maybe it's not the right font for being that small. And use edaqa's room. And then I have room for a handle as well. And I think my handle is at edA-qa on Twitter. Let's just check that out on Twitter to make sure that I am at edA-qa. Twitter, edA-qa. Kind of need that bird there too, aren't I? Can I see the image? Let's see. Twitter media images. Let's get the bird. Do they have like a standard image thing somewhere? They're not going to give it to me, are they? Can I just grab the bird from some random place? No, I need the Twitter one. Don't they have a media resources page? Media, Twitter media resources. Well, that's not exactly what I intended. I just want the bird. Give me the bird. Brand resources. All right. Give me the bird. Just a bird. Can I get the bird that's not? I want just the blue bird. Do I have to download the whole thing? Fine, whatever. Let's download the whole blue bird. Save it somewhere. I have no idea how many that was in there. Let's go open it up, see what I have for Twitter resources. Circle, square. On a square. Rounded square. Well, I just want the bird. I'm going to violate their resources. Not much they can do about it. All right, that works fine too. See, I can really get rid of the @ because if I have the logo there, I don't need the @. Move this over here. Put the Twitter guy there. I kind of use it as my main social site. When I talk about stuff, I put everything on Twitter. And, you know, let's just give it the same feel that one has. It's probably a no-no in their style guidelines, but they're going to have to live with me like that. It's black and white, and I have a stylized black and white. I have the room over here. I can now make that wider. Of course, now if they're not both the size and the same size, this should be a bit wider too. Now let's save that again. Exports. Okay, so now I have that there, but I really have to make it slightly bigger so I don't have that part of my screen, or I just changed that so I have an idea. I'm going to change this guide graphic here as well to something in pkib that loads it, and I can modify the guide graphic to be a little bit smaller. And the reason I want to do that, which one is it loading? So I can remove it and stuff. So I just need an idea of where I am. I'm not going to go close to it anyways. Now I have an overlay here somewhere, don't I? Here, the stream frame overlay. This is what's actually showing on my screen. I can just sort of trim this down a little bit here. I just need to have an idea of where I am. How do I trim that easily? What if I just select this region? And I do a, can I reduce the selection size? Shrink. Maybe about 15 pixels. Now I want to invert it and not have that. I just do paste as a new layer for now, to new layer. Okay. Now I want to select this. Oops, that's bad. Select this. Go away. Now select this bit. No, in this one I want to select that. Delete that. Aha, that should be good enough. Save. No, not save, just export it. I don't know why GIMP did that, but just do export that. Good. Just great, that's fine. I actually dynamically reloaded it. So OBS, so I have that border's gone now. I still have an area in the screen where I know there's nothing really there. So now I have a slight border. That gives me something there. So there's title text now. I can modify that. So the title, I can remove my name from it because it's in the graphics there. All right, that does one a little bit. I thought I'd get further along than this, but obviously not. And so that's not really, I wanted to get that done. So I have a little bit done. So I'm just going to go with that for now. I think that's good enough for now. I don't want to make these shows too long. 45 minutes is a bit more than much. And I have a chat. Hello, Kristaps. Welcome to the show. Yes, you caught me live. Wonderful. So I have that, and I want to do the border back here too. I'm just wondering what I do for this background here. Do I just do the... I should just take the same, just take a graphic, just a square. I want it really plain this time, and just use the same sort of stroke thing here. That one, that's probably fine. Or the darker one. No, let's just take the light one. I don't know how good this is. I'm just going to eyeball it again as to what's the right size. Does that look about the same proportions? It does. So let's just export that as well. Export that. Export graphic as projects, current, and Edaqa's room title background. Let's just do that. Title background. No, title banner background. Really long names. No, better not do JPEG because that's going to mess it up. Export. Probably doesn't have to be that big. So this title back now, I can get rid of that. Yes, and I'm going to add a new one. A new image. Title back. Browse. Title banner background. Do that. Put it down there. Put it at the back here somewhere. Now I'm going to make it smaller. I think that's about right. That looks about the right place. But I didn't really want this thing to cover up the screen. I want this to be somewhat translucent. So can I actually do that directly here? Or do I have to make the image translucent? Let's find out. Properties. Maybe I can do it with a filter. Image mask blend. No, that's the one I did in the other one. Crop color, you can apply, let scroll, sharpen, scaling. You know, I might not be able to. So let's just go over here and change the fill effect and make it translucent a bit. But I can't, because I can't modify all of them. All right, so let's just make the whole object that way. Let's just make it, say, 65. And does it actually export it that way, 65? It does. So you can see through it a bit. It looks really translucent. But that should be okay, because I'm going to have dark screens, and if it's a light screen, you can read the text, and that's all I really want. So I have that. I have those two. So I've improved it ever so slightly, which is really all I wanted to do on this show is improve that. I was going to work on the media kit, but I see a lot of this is fine-tuning. I got to do that a bit later. So what I still have to do is that and the... But I'm going to... Welcome to the show, Tomcast. Yeah, he asked me, I hadn't seen me a long time since Rust, and I've taken a long break since doing that. So now I'm going to be focusing on my game now. And so my game, if you're just tuning in the first time, my game is these point-and-click adventures, so online escape room game over at Edaqa's room. And this is the new one I'm working on, and this is the intro screen. You can click on this and see the wonderful... This is the first puzzle of the game as well. Hope I can talk it. First puzzle is fairly easy. And I'll just quickly go through it. And we enter the game. So this is what the game looks like, basically. And it is a point-and-click. It's a puzzle game. So there are puzzles to figure out here. For example, this is a ticket here with some weird numbers. This is more weird numbers. And then there's also numbers down here. And these numbers have to be entered. And you have to figure out what you want to enter it. That's not the right number. So this is the game that I'm working on now. This one's actually about to be released. I'm doing the beta testing now. And by beta testing, I'm not really beta testing the technology. That worked from before. I dropped my mouse pad. What I'm doing now is I have to do the puzzle testing to see if the puzzles are acceptable or not. Some of the puzzles are quite easy, but other ones, like this one's straightforward. But I have to see how balanced it is. And there's some other puzzles hidden on this screen. Things hidden in the garbage. I don't want to show too much of it all at once. Each show I'll show a little bit of it. But, oh, and then the music starts here too. Music is what I added recently. I just streamed about that yesterday, wanting to see the music. But Today I really just wanted to improve the stream because it's been a long time. For those of you that watched me on the Rush show, you'll know I went through many variations of the stream layout, and I came back to this very basic, and I'm going to go with this for now. Why this screen flickers is because I got a not so cheap LED light that has a shitty transformer that likes to flicker, but at least I won't flicker too much, only the background, because I have a nice photographic light in front of me. So I got this. I said I don't think I'll do much more today. I have to go work on the game a bit, and I don't want to do too much live coding because when I was doing Rust, I was really stressful and it really slows me down. Actually, it was fun then. Maybe I'll do some more, and I'll show you how the code works. But for today, that's what I want to show you. I have this graphic for me. I probably go away. I have that bit there, and that's really all I wanted to do today. So thanks for tuning in, and I mean, if I can't find anything good on Netflix, I'll do a bit more later, but I might just sit down and make some stream watch TV. Maybe I'll do something tomorrow, which I wanted to do. And otherwise, I'll catch you later. And thanks for tuning in. I hope to be doing more shows from now on. Thank you very much.